What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new series Pulse. Let's rock this. You know, this show prides itself as being Netflix's first big procedural medical drama, even though last year Netflix Spain already released Breathless, which I thought was pretty okay. So I've already watched the entire 10-hourly long episodes, and I gotta say, I am experiencing medical drama fatigue. I'm just exhausted by this format that offers very little new things. I'm like, ugh, another one of these shows, really? Isn't this just saturated? And it's kind of hypocritical too, because at one point in one of the scenes on one of the episodes, the chief resident tells her intern, hey, this is not Grey's Anatomy. Snap out of it. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But then on the next episode, two doctors are having sex in an empty room. So, are you or are you not similar to Grey's Anatomy? To be fair, Pulse does have some aspects that can be considered different. Its emphasis on Spanish bilingual, which makes sense since the setting is in Miami, and some of the supporting subplots do leave a mark. But just like any other medical shows, they can also get needlessly, overly melodramatic. On top of which, there's already currently a medical show on HBO that is apparently taking the country by storm. It's called The Pit. I don't know why I hated that show. I tried watching it but couldn't sit through to the end. But Pulse is more glossy and less gritty and too soapy by comparison, which the audiences might take that as inauthentic. Co-show run by Zoe Robin and Carlton Cuse in Pulse, as a hurricane barrels towards Miami's busiest level 1 trauma center, third-year resident Dr. Danny Sims is unexpectedly thrust into a promotion when beloved chief resident Dr. Xander Phillips is suspended. Amid the worsening storm and an onslaught of trauma cases, the hospital goes into lockdown, and Danny and Phillips must find a way to work together, even as the bombshell details of a complicated and illicit romance between them begin to spill out. The rest of the ER is left to process the fallout of their relationship while balancing their own challenges, both personal and professional, as they work under the pressure of life or death stakes. Because for this tight-knit group of doctors, saving their patients' lives is often less complicated than living their own. Starring Willa Fitzgerald, Colin Woodell, Justina Machado, Jack Bannon, and Jesse T. Usher. About 80% of the characters in this big cast ensemble are unlikable and annoying. There's this overarching arc about who's going to be the new chief resident, and it's a power struggle that goes on and on and on and on, to the point where I couldn't care less who would get picked anymore. And the power balance dynamics between those two is icky and irritating and insignificant. The whole caring for their patients' emotional beats are also forced, like they're trying to score sympathy points after behaving like divas and projecting their savior complex all day long. Performance-wise, I suppose Justina Machado is the standout. She is an underrated actress with a versatile range that she puts on display in her role here, while the rest of them are on the range of adequate to serviceable. We gotta give credit where credit is due though. The hospital set looks elaborate. The medical cases they handle are unlike what we've seen on the screen before, although the approach to investigate them is not as Sherlock Holmes-esque as Dr. House MD. The camera work, especially during the tense, frenetic moments, does make it feel like it puts us, the audiences, right there in the middle of the commotion with the characters. So there are some positives and some upsides, but the negative parts kind of beat them by a mile. And the show doesn't really truly explore the America's broken healthcare system. It only touches briefly on the personal medical bankruptcy. Look, I get it. I get that the showrunners probably don't want to turn this show political and they just want to focus on the collective tension. But still, I think it's a missed opportunity on their part to not take that angle, seeing that that topic is relevant in today's Luigi Mangione world, where even an ambulance trip to the hospital could cost you a ridiculous amount of dollars, especially if you're not insured. And lastly, if you ask me, all of these gazillion medical dramas out there, they are all just trying to emulate the magic of the classic show ER. Some succeed, and some, like this one, fall short. So yeah, overall I give Pulse the rating of 2 out of 5. Aside from 1 or 2 or 3 things here and there, this is very much a cookie cutter show. And to come out the door in its first run with 10 long-winded episodes, they clearly overestimate their own value.